Hello and welcome to Trinity Movement. Come to your comfortable seat and close your eyes to tune in. Our theme today is gratitude. As we churn cream to transform it into butter, we too move our body to transform that which keeps us from closeness with God. Asking the Spirit here to help us wring out any emotional blockages within, in order to open space. The affirmation for this day is, I gratefully let go. Let's bring our hands together at heart center, rubbing them briskly together as our tangible presence of God within each of us as spirit. Bring the hands to stillness, just noticing briefly the energy that's been created, that awareness of the spirit held between the palms. Let us acknowledge that we are doing this practice to become closer to God, and ask Him to instill in us an awareness of His presence as spirit in breath. Before we begin, let us each set an intention for this practice, in petition or gratitude, whatever you feel called to in this moment. And when you have your intention, repeat it 3 times, vocally or silently. Let us begin. Come to stand at the top of your mat. We're going to begin with a movement involving the feet. The lower body is where we hold fear in the body. So come to the front edge of your mat. Your feet can be hip-width apart. We'll start with the right toes down on the mat. Hands can be on your hips, down by your side, or holding on to something, as balance can be tricky in this position. Firm up through the belly to support yourself here, and the tailbone yearns slightly toward the heels. And we'll begin making slow circles in either direction. We want to focus here on sensation, not pain. This actual posture can be painful for some bodies. So if that is you, if you have any pain in the toes or the foot, just move slower or shift the weight slightly to the opposite side to reduce the pressure. Go ahead and reverse the direction. We honor our emotions as God gifted them to us to feel and guide. And while they can become overwhelming, they offer opportunity to turn toward God and ask for His help. Go ahead and switch sides. So bring your right foot back to center and take your left toes back. Give yourself a second to find your balance there, remembering you can hold on to something, and begin making those slow, intentional circles. So we ask the Spirit here to make us aware of these blockages as stored emotions, those undealt with feelings. Go ahead and reverse the direction. And we then ask for aid in letting go with gratitude. Again, this is where we store fear, right, in the lower body. And the Spirit here offers stability and strength. And bring the foot back to center. And just notice within your body if the feet feel different. You can turn back to face me and come to the center of your mat for our next posture. So the feet can be together or slightly wider. You're going to have a nice bend in the knees and place the hands on the thighs above the knee joint. We don't want to cause any stress on the knees. Firm up through the belly. You'll hear me say this over and over again. It's very supportive for the low back and keeping us in those positions. And we'll begin making slow circles, again in either direction. Remember to focus on sensation over pain and check in with your body. If this is painful to the knees or the ankles, bring the body toward a more upright position. And any time you need to come out of the posture, please do so. Go ahead and reverse the direction. Being gentle with yourself and any fear that you hold. Receive this gift that the Spirit has to offer, strength and stability. And any time during this practice, returning to our affirmation of, I gratefully let go. Go ahead and come back to center. Taking just a breath or two to notice how you're feeling as we kind of move this emotional energy upward. For our next posture, you can reposition the feet about hip width apart. Slight bend in the knees, but keep them soft. Place your hands on your hips. Again, that firmness up through the belly to support our low back. And begin making slow circles, again in either direction. In the hips is where we store guilt, right? The would've, should've, could've's of life that keep us from closeness with God. Go ahead and reverse the direction. And the Spirit is here within you as breath to offer you joy, to re-energize, right, your life, replacing that guilt with joy, with an enthusiasm to do. So we ask the Spirit to help us release this blockage and fill us with joy. And come back to center. Again, you can close your eyes here, but just whether your eyes are closed or open, just notice briefly any changes in your body. And knowing that it's okay to feel nothing, right? Time is something that we measure, and God has no concept of time. He just is there to offer healing in the moment when you're ready. And for our next posture, you're going to want the feet really wide. So again, a slight bend in the knees, keeping them soft. Arms down by your side, very floppy. And we're going to begin twisting from side to side. You can bend into the knees if that's comfortable, but allow the body to move intuitively here. So let the arms be limp and involved in the movement. Perhaps they're even slapping the back of you, right, or the other arm. The waist or the midsection here is where we store shame, right? All of those embarrassments. But the gift of the Spirit is humility. So we return to this affirmation of I gratefully let go, honoring what we feel, but then gratefully releasing that humility or that shame, right? So that we can receive God's humility. And come back to center. Again, just simply taking it all in, noticing any release, perhaps even some frustration, right? Whatever emotion that comes to you in this time, to honor it, right? And return to that affirmation during the day of I gratefully let go. Bring your hands to heart center. And thank God for this time that we have had together, that you have had with Him, by bowing and saying, Amen, Amen. May peace be with you this day. Thank you for practicing with me.